Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I want to talk about one of the most important transitions in modern healthcare, the move from medical professional to practice owner. On the surface, it can look like independence, flexibility, autonomy, going out on your own, hanging your own shingle. But underneath, it's a much deeper shift. This isn't just about delivering care without an employer. It's about turning your unique and special clinical skill, patient trust, and regulated service delivery into a real business system with a revenue model, operating systems, compliance responsibilities, and customer relationships. So the question we're really answering is, when does trusted clinical work stop being employment and start becoming an enterprise? And as we go, keep this line in mind. Your special and talented clinical skill is the critical foundation, but yet it is not the full business model. What people think, if you're highly skilled, licensed, and trusted, then building a business should flow naturally. That thinking is simple. Patients will come, the service will speak for itself, and the practice will grow exponentially. But that assumption is incomplete. A strong credential can create legitimacy, which is a very powerful moat and an extreme barrier to entry for others. But legitimacy alone does not create systems, pricing, discipline, continuity, operations, or a durable business model. Professional trust is very significant, but it is not the whole enterprise. The practice doesn't become stable because you're qualified. It becomes stable when the business side is designed with the same rigor as the clinical side. Yes, what's really going on is that the practice owner has to manage two worlds at once. One world is the clinical world, which you're very familiar with: quality care, patient outcomes, professional standards, and compliance. The other world is unfamiliar and operational: scheduling, documentation, staffing, communication, revenue, patient retention, and the daily structure that keeps the practice stable. A medical professional can be clinically excellent and brilliant, yet still run into shaky economics and weak systems. If the practice is only built around care delivery and not around enterprise design. Yes, that is the hidden tension. Clinical excellence and business soundness are not the same thing. This transition matters now because the healthcare environment is shifting dramatically. More care is moving into outpatient, community based, and distributed settings. Patients increasingly value access, continuity, convenience, and a more personal care experiences. Nurses and nurse practitioners have become some of the clearest examples of how trusted clinical roles can expand into ownership and enterprise building. And while they're the anchor example here, they're not alone. Radiology, surgical support, and other specialties reflect a broader shift. Licensed medical skill is no longer confined to institutional employment alone. So the opportunity isn't just go independent. The opportunity is learning how to turn trusted expertise into an organized care model. Nurses and nurse practitioners are such a strong and compelling entrepreneurship example. They sit at the junction and intersection of trust, continuity, direct patient interaction, and recurring care. The patient relationship is already there. The credibility is already there. The need for continuity is already there. So the question becomes, can that trust be translated into a structured, compliant, repeatable business. And this is where the topic gets powerful. A nurse can be clinically excellent, trusted, experienced, and still not automatically have a sound business model, stable operations, or scalable systems. Nurses and nurse practitioners make the transition easier to see because they embody and both the care relationship and the operational challenge. Healthcare entrepreneurship is built around trust. Patients don't choose care the same way they choose ordinary consumer products. They hear about a service provider, evaluate their credentials and their reputation, book an appointment, experience the care, and decide whether they feel confident enough to return or refer someone else. That means the strongest growth engine is not just in customer acquisition, it's in continuity. A patient who returns, trusts, and recommends is far more valuable than a one time, one off encounter. So, the real business question isn't only how do we attract patients, it's how do we build a practice worth staying with? Let us delve into a very important and distinctive turning point. A clinician delivers care within an existing system. A practice owner has to build the system around that care. That includes operations, staffing, communication, compliance, workflows, and the business structure that allows quality care to continue without everyone depending on one person's daily effort. This is where many promising and aspiring professionals feel that strain. They're excellent at the care itself, but the business becomes overloaded and overwhelmed because the owner is still acting as a clinician, scheduler, administrator, operator, and growth engine all at the same time. So the deeper lesson is clearer. Skill may start the practice, but systems are where what makes the practice durable and expandable. The business model canvas formalizes this business. Your customer segments may include families, continuity based patients, niche patient groups, or direct pay clients. The key point is not every segment is equally attractive. The practice becomes sharper when it chooses the right patients, not just more patients. The value proposition is trusted care, smoother access, continuity, and a more personal healthcare experience. Your channels are referrals, your local reputation, search, community relationships, and increasingly digital pathways. Because healthcare entrepreneurship trust isn't just part of the brand, it's the main acquisition channel. Your revenue streams come from visits, recurring care, niche services, and in some models, membership like continuity structures. Your key resources aren't only license and knowledge, they're your trust, legitimacy, staff, your systems, and your overall reputation. What this canvas shows is very simple. The practice becomes real only when care, credibility, and options are brought together in a sound business model. Your strengths, weakness, opportunity, and threat snapshot shows how promising and how demanding this model can be. Your strengths are obvious. Healthcare is a trust rich profession. The expertise of you is real. Patient relationships can be sticky, and barrier to entries are very meaningful. But the weaknesses can be very serious. Compliance is heavy. Owner dependence can stay high. Burnout is very real. And systems can remain flimsy if the business is built only around one provider's sole labor. The big takeaway is this that a medical professional becomes a true practice owner when clinical trust is translated into a durable care system That means continuity, compliance, repeatable operations, and a model strong enough to last beyond your personal labor alone. The strongest care ventures do not rely only on credentials. They build structure around trust. So the deeper question isn't simply whether that professional can deliver excellent care. The deeper question is whether that care can be organized into an enterprise strong and resilient enough to endure, grow, and remain sound over time. Your clinical skill is the foundation, but systems is what makes the practice durable. Thank you.